Hello and welcome to Woodbridge, the best town around. My name is John McCormick. I'm the mayor of this great town, and we're here tonight for a very special occasion to name the concert field behind our health center and behind Woodbridge High School in memory of Joseph R. Lewis, who was the first Woodbridge police officer to die in line of duty way back in 1932 while he was a motorcycle cop chasing a vehicle, and he unfortunately passed away. And this is something that we've talked about for a while. It's long overdue. I'm kind of embarrassed that it took so long, but at the same time, I'm thrilled that we're finally doing this. We have a whole lot of people here to quickly introduce from our town council. Councilwoman at Large Lisbeth DeJesus, Councilman at Large Kyle Anderson, Councilman at Large Greg Ficarra, First Ward Councilwoman Sharon McAuliffe, Third Ward Councilman Corey Spiller, from the Board of Ed Dan Harris, from the Board of Education Brian Molnar, and from the Board of Education Joe Velez. We have a whole bunch of people here from the Woodbridge Police Department. I probably could name them all, maybe a few I would miss, but I'm not going to do that. But I just want to thank them all for being here tonight to pay respect to their fallen officer. I don't think anybody here knew him. He passed away quite a long time ago, but still the Woodbridge Police Department respects their fellow officer, and it's great that they're all here tonight to pay those respects. I'd like to now call up Officer Michael Harris, who is the chaplain of the police department. On the police side, there's a chaplain on the religious side, but Mike has a few words he would like to say about Officer Lewis.
Good evening. Police Officer Joseph Lewis began his career with the Woodbridge Police Department February 14, 1921. He was initially assigned to patrol and was made a motorcycle police officer in 1924. As a member of the motorcycle unit, his responsibility was enforcing all traffic laws and township ordinances. On Sunday morning, September 18, 1932, at 8:20 a.m., Officer Lewis observed a group of motorcyclists run a red light situated at Route 1 South and Avenel Street. He immediately pursued the speeding motorist towards Island, making his way to the leader of the group. In an effort to evade Officer Lewis, the motorcyclist turned into Lewis's motorcycle, resulting in the two motorcycles to lock handlebars. The motorcycles then split, causing both to crash on opposite sides of the roadway. Officer Lewis sustained numerous injuries as a result of the crash and was rushed to Perth Amboy General Hospital. Later that afternoon, Officer Joseph R. Lewis succumbed to his injuries. He left behind his wife, Nancy, and his 4 children, Paul, Michael, Marie, and Anna. He was a 12-year veteran of the Woodbridge Police Department, and his funeral service was held on September 22nd, 1932, at St. Cecilia's Church in Island. He was hailed as a hero for his actions that day, and will forever be remembered as a great officer, great husband, and terrific father. Marked Unit Number 1, off to my left here, will forever be known as the Joe Lewis car. I'd like to thank the mayor for making this possible. I'd also like to thank the business administrator, Vito Simaluka, Director of Public Works, George Brew, and Samantha Garrity for making this dedication all possible. I'd like to thank everybody else to my left, to my right, and in front of me that you can't see for being here as well for this. This is a really special day. I'm excited to see this sign. It's been a long time in the making. I know it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be an incredible honor for the police department and for the Lewis family. Thank you all, and God bless.
Thank you, Officer Harris. We're fortunate to have with us Joseph R. Lewis's grandson, Gary, and I'd like to ask Gary now to say a few words on behalf of his grandfather.
Thank you, Mayor. Once again, my name is Gary Lewis, one of several grandchildren of Joseph Lewis. First of all, I'd like to thank Township of Woodbridge and Woodbridge PD for this tribute to my grandfather, Joseph Lewis, who was killed in the line of duty on September 18, 1932. I was born October 1952, some 20 years after my grandfather's passing. So obviously, I never knew him personally, and most of what I know about him comes from my father and a couple of my older cousins. According to my father, he was a strict disciplinarian. My father would always say, if he told you to do something, he only told you once. But he also said many times, I don't know what it was about him, but people always liked him. That became clear when after my grandfather's passing, My father, along with his mother, brother, and sisters, were allowed to stay in the house they rented in Island for as long as they needed and not to worry about the rent. It was 1932, and the country was in the grip of the Great Depression. My father was only 11 years old, and back in those days, there were not many benefits for officers who died in the line of duty. So the kind offer from the landlord was greatly appreciated. You know, it takes a certain amount of courage to just put on a policeman's uniform and be in a position of authority in your town. But it takes extra courage when you must perform your duty in dangerous moments. One of those moments comes when you must pursue someone who has violated the law. On foot, it's difficult. On 4 wheels, it's scary. On 2 wheels, it's terrifying. My grandfather was in that position on September 18, 1932, when he was on duty in the area Route 1 and Avenel Street, when he saw 2 motorcycles almost strike pedestrians who were on their way crossing Route 1 to go to church that Sunday morning. My grandfather pursued them, as you've already heard, caught up with one of them, getting so close in their faces that their handlebars tangled, causing my grandfather's bike to veer off and collide with a truck. He died later that day. This tribute by Woodbridge is indeed fitting and proper. Again, I'd like to thank them for it on behalf of the Joseph Lewis family. Thank you.
I should mention that Gary is retired police department from Elizabeth, New Jersey. I should also mention that the reason so many firemen are here, you can't see them, they're off camera, but Joseph R. Lewis was a charter member of the Island Fire Department number 9, and that's why so many of his fellow officers are here. I want to echo Mike's thanks to Samantha Garrity, who works for George Brew, to Vito, and everybody in Town Hall who made this possible. And now, if Gary, if you and Donna would make your way to the sign and uncover it, that would be great. The sign says is Joseph R. Lewis served for 12 years in the Woodbridge Police Department before becoming the first officer killed in the line of duty on September 18, 1932, while in pursuit of a motor vehicle.